Alright, about review for Link on King's Row. First off, let's talk about your team comp here. You've got a Hammond, Reinhardt, Moira, Bap, Junkrat, and McCree. I don't really like this very much. I think the Bap is fine with the Reinhardt, the Moira is fine with the Reinhardt, but the Ball isn't going to get much support, which doesn't really matter because he's self-sufficient, but I mean, you won't be able to do a whole lot with the Ball there. The Junkrat and the McCree are going to be doing a lot of poke and not much else. A lot of spam, really. I really would have preferred maybe a Zenyatta in place of a Bap or the Moira, either one. Just so you could better synergize with your DPS and especially your Ball. You can just throw Orb on him and he can last a bit longer in fights and also get off crucial picks in the backline with your Discord Orb. So let's see how this plays out. We can see the enemy team comps. Enemy team comp right now, but I mean, you really can't predict it. But when you think about how this is going to work, the Orisa is going to put a lot of pressure on your Rein. She's going to invalidate your Hammond. The Ball is going to put pressure on your Hammond. To some extent, the Symmetra is going to put pressure on your Rein. The Reaper is going to put a lot of pressure on your Ball. But I think the McCree should be able to keep the Doomfist and the Reaper out of the way for now, but let's see how it plays out. Alright, looks like Muffin's dead. Not really your fault there, he's kind of feeding. Let me see if I can up the buying pixels, please. No. I like this position, it's safe, but when you've got your IM field up and they're not pressuring it, you should be pressuring their shield. Just trust that your Moira is going to heal them, and use all of your utility here just to spam shield, because if you're just healing your team, you're not really doing anything for them. Yeah, that's what I want to see, is just more shield pressure here, and just trust your Moira. You should even think about rotating up top here, just so you have a better sight line on the enemy, and you would have, you know, a full sight line on the point in general to apply a lot more pressure. That there was kind of a mistake. You shouldn't have used your shift there. You're kind of leaving yourself vulnerable. I realize you want to spam heals as quick as you can, but shift should be used more selfishly in general. Alright, so your Moira just died, right? You spent that whole time spamming heals into your team and not applying any pressure to the enemy at all. They were completely unthreatened by you. You should have done a lot more shooting at the enemy there, which is probably a problem with your sightline there. You should have rotated up to one of the windows earlier. Yeah, that's a positioning thing. That death was purely positioning. It was safe at first, but once they're on point and once they're in control of the point, you gotta get out, or die on point, one or the other. Alright, right now I don't know what your comms are like, but you should be screaming at Rein to take an early fight. He's sitting so far back. If you know that he's positioned there, tell him to go forward. This is a terrible play by your Rein.
Cease your resistance. Meteor strike.
Alright, it's the same thing here. You're being heal bot and you're not pressuring the unit at all. Like, just trust that your Moira is going to get some heals into the D.Va. When you have your IM field down, she has free reign to heal the D.Va and build up ult. You already have ult, so you don't need to spam any healing into anyone. Apply pressure. I'm not sure why you dropped down there. You probably should have stayed up top. High ground is much stronger. Even like it would be really good if you would take an off angle with blue here. Right now all you can do is spam heals and that's fine, but you don't really need it. You have a gigantic shield right there that isn't even cracked yet. Like he's totally fine. Reinhardt's fine. McCree can pick up a health pack, it's fine. You can be DPSing a lot more. Alright, I think you should have, when you saw that Reaper, just immediately thrown your field like you did, and then popped ult on him and burst him down while he was blossoming. You definitely could have killed him there. And then you would have had field up for this fight a little bit earlier, which would deny them just a bit more space. Unlucky. Your McCree's feeding. Hopefully D.Va doesn't commit Mac. No, good. So here you need to be thinking about what ults they might have and what ults you have. And you need to be calling for certain ults to happen at certain times. You've just used yours, and I don't know what your comms are like, but you should be trying and coordinating right here. You need to stop the snowball. It's worth committing ults to stop a snowball. This positioning is way too passive. Stay up on high ground, apply more pressure. Yeah, you need to stay here or the parallel high ground, and just unload into them as much as you can. Unless your Rein shield is broken, you really don't have to worry about it. Your Mara's got it. Don't think you should use field there, because you know that ults are coming up. Field has a really long cooldown. You could have just backed up and shifted to save yourself and gone up to high ground again instead of using field there. Especially now we can see that the Reaper has ult, and he hasn't ulted in a while. He's done a lot of damage. You know he probably is close, so you want to keep that field off of cooldown. like this positioning. Stay here, but do more damage. Okay, so there's no amount of healing you can do that could save them. You need to be shooting a Reaper there. None of your heals are gonna matter in the face of the ult. He's gonna kill at least one, maybe two, three. You know, their whole team is standing there. Just use your ult selfishly to apply damage. You really need to be trying to stop a snowball here and putting out as much damage as you can.
I'm keeping tabs on it. I'm at fighting position.
See, this positioning it seems safe, but you're not doing anything. You're playing way too passive. Also, Reaper's sitting there. You're kind of trapped, unless, I guess, you use field to get out, but then you don't have it for any of their ults coming up, and I'm not sure if you're, like, ult tracking at this point, but you probably can guess that Ashe has Bob because she hasn't used it yet. Would like to see Field come out earlier for that D.Va. Field is really good when people are hooked. You should try to use Field like a Bubble or a Matrix in situations like that when someone's hooked. It's totally fine to throw Field on them. See, Ryan's left alone, so he dies, and he can't stall alone. So we're gonna skip ahead a little bit here. Alright, we're tagging on Lucio now. Interesting. I think that's probably... Let's look at your team comp real quick. Actually, swapping to Zen. So we've got Hanzo, Reinhardt, Ana, Zen, Zarya, and Widow. So you're basically playing double snipers with off angles. Lucio would have been fine, but I do like the Zen a bit more. You need something to keep all of this from working. But yeah, Lucio is absolutely fine too. Alright, here, you can't really see anyone over here. I don't know if you're like trying to predict that the Reaper is there, or if there was a call out the Reaper was there, but if you can't see any red, just shoot the shield, just pressure the Osa. Just left click into her all day. Like, never let go of your left click. And Reaper flanks you. That's unlucky, but you were a little split from your team. Fight is basically over. So that was good good reacquisition of target there on the Reaper. Definitely should be discording and focusing as much as you can if he's playing like this. This is a huge potential for him to just feed here. In comms, you should be telling him when to play slow and wait out the shield. There's no point in pushing right now. You really don't have any of your run. Wasted Shatter, I think, and I guess Ana just popped Nano on Ryan for the Shatter, but I don't think he hit anyone with it. In fact, you should probably be telling the Hanzo to ult right now. You should be telling the Hanzo to ult to split point so that your Rein can actually push the Orisa. Because that's about your only play. I know you want to play for Grav Dragons, but he will have Dragons again by the time Blue has Grav. Unlucky, but if you had done more damage earlier on, you would have had Trance earlier to save them. Now you're regrouping, it's good. And did your Hanzo Dragon? I don't think he Dragon, he just swapped to Mei, which... not a good play. Good focus. You need to be screaming for peels right about now. And calling out that sim that's just a secretary, I guess. Okay, so now you have 5 ults. You need to be trying to think of which ones you can combo here. Not sure when we got the Lucio, honestly. I didn't notice him. That's interesting. Okay. But what can you do here? You're gonna have to grab to start the fight. But you want to force out Orisa's shift first, preferably. If you can, it doesn't matter, but... probably your best pathing here is to call that you go through Hotel again and you grab in the back so you can catch at least the Moira in it. Hopefully the Ashes, well, I think she's standing back there a lot. She rotates back to Arch. And you can nano Rein. Those are the two that you should call to be using. Save the rest of the ults in this situation. Your Mei's just feeding her brains out, it's awesome. Alright, you could hear the Reaper there. I heard him drop down. Heard him do that little breath thing. I like the reactionary trance well enough. You need to stay alive, it's worth committing. But you are overlapping support ults here. So you need to realize that that's maybe a bad thing, because you and Mei should be able to escape with the beat. Maybe you didn't realize that you had beat, or did you trance first? Let's see, real quick. No, he beat dropped first and then you tranced. You could have survived with a beat drop there. And see there, because you were in trance, you could do absolutely nothing with the Grav. You couldn't Discord, you couldn't spam it, you couldn't do anything. And that's pretty significant. It's a good pick, it's a crucial pick. So here you need to be yelling at your team to go for fast heroes, try and convince the Rein to swap Winston, try and convince Blue to go ball, or maybe even you go ball, and you just stay the solo Ana. You need to get there as quick as you can. Especially you have 16 seconds left, you need someone to touch point. And your Lucio is swapped off and is feeding somewhere in main. Okay. Yeah, he's not going to get any value there. You'd be yelling at him to come back. Looks like if we've got a ball swap from the Rein, that's good.
Cease your resistance. Do something.
But again, imagine if you had trance right now. Imagine if you had trance right now. Yeah, that's about it. General notes, you need to play more aggressive. Try to be aware of overlapping support ults. That was kind of a huge deal there. Apply as much pressure as you can. Don't just be a heal bot, because utility comes from every single part of your hero's kit. Bap can apply a lot of pressure and do a lot of damage. And if you're not doing any damage, you're not playing him to his full potential. So you're just kind of soft throwing, but not like genuinely. You're just not applying as much pressure as you can be, and you're not doing as much as you absolutely can. Aim doesn't matter. You don't ever run out of bullets. Just keep shooting. Yeah, that's about it.